always participate in their maintenance, mainly by giving food them. 31% participate in the maintenance of stray dogs sometimes. Women participate in maintenance of stray dogs more than men, and 24% of our respondents was bitten by a dog. According to the data provided by Viktor Babiš Hospital of Craiova, between 1st of January 2009 and 21st of July 2009, 1,140 people went to the doctor because of dog bites. 850 of them were bitten by stray dogs. 338 people were vaccinated with anti-rabies vaccine. 27 people required hospitalization and also treatment with rabies serum. Sex and age distribution of bitten people is the following. So, 456 bitten men and 684 bitten women. Children 198 and adults 942. Anyway, the inhabitants of Craiova are mainly against the euthanasia. 82% are for building shelters and castrating the dogs, and only 9% is for euthanasia. There was a big scandal a couple of years ago when the former mayor of Bucharest, Traian Băsescu, declared, "My goal is clear, no dogs on the streets. They eat up too much public money," and started the policy of eliminating the stray dogs. The mayor of Bucharest has ordered the immediate slaughter of all stray dogs in the city, abandoning an earlier plan to sterilize them and offer them for adoption. Traian Băsescu said he had no choice but to rid the city once and for all of animals which are estimated to number up 300,000. Protests spearheaded by the former actress turned animal rights activist Brigitte Bardot led to a compromise. The dogs were to be rounded up, sterilized, then offered for adoption. Mrs. Bardot was reported to have offered $150,000 toward the plan. But since then, only 2,000 dogs have been adopted, and the mayor claimed that the most of these had been returned to the street. So, who is in charge with this problem?
Oamenii. Protecția animalelor, cred.
Primăria.
Cred că primăria.
72% of respondents identify the city hall as the body which is in charge with the problem of stray dogs. As we found out in the city hall of Craiova, there is no any shelter for dogs in Craiova, and there are no permanent shelters at all. There is so-called transit shelter in Făgăi, where dogs are taken, castrated, vaccinated, and further they are given to adoption or back to streets. Innocent souls claim that the local authorities' obligation is to provide permanent shelters for dogs. Obviously, citizens are not satisfied by the policy which is conducted by City Hall on this issue, but City Hall itself is not satisfied. As Radu Viorel mentioned, they can't do anything more now. On one side, the European legislation doesn't let do much. On the other side, there is lack of needed finance resources. European legislation on the issue is not for Romanian reality. It doesn't let applying euthanasia, and the authorities can't afford building and maintaining permanent shelters for two main reasons. Lack of money, and the second, local authorities don't want to take the risk of investing in this, as they think that the law may be changed and euthanasia could be allowed. Innocent Souls Association expresses different opinion, according to which the legislation doesn't create problems, the legislation is just not respected. But there is a discrepancy between the legislation and the reality. The legislation is based on Strasbourg Convention 2004. Local authorities can catch the dogs only if there is a particular call from a citizen. According to the official information provided by Craiova City Hall upon our request, in 2009 more than 80 written complaints and 500 complaints over the call of citizen about the existence of stray dogs in Craiova were registered in Craiova City Hall. 15 to 20% of those who made complaints about the existence of dogs in the streets of Craiova complained also about attacks from abandoned dogs. Therefore, in 2008, the dog pound team of Public Service Health in Craiova captured 2,629 abandoned dogs, and in 2009, between January and August, the dog pound team captured 1,336 abandoned dogs. The dog pound team takes actions on a daily basis on the written request of individuals and legal entities. The dogs captured as required by law are accommodated, dewormed, vaccinated against rabies, neutered and ear-tagged in canine shelter in order to give them for adoption. The adoption can be made by individuals or by animal protection associations. But sometimes inhabitants even make obstacles for authorities to do this, just keeping dogs inside their blocks. According to the legislation, the person or the association adopting a dog should take all the responsibilities, take care of the dog, and to abandon it again in the street. Otherwise, fines can be applied. But in fact, there is no practical way of taking under control the whole this process and applying fines because animal police doesn't exist. For having animal police, again, money are needed. In Mr. Barbulescu's words, maintain that before giving a dog for adoption, usually they gather information about the family, expressing willingness to adopt a dog. Then even after adoption, they keep in touch with the families adopting dogs. They hadn't any case when a family abandoned a dog after adoption, but there were cases when some families returned dogs to the association as they couldn't keep them. In City Hall, we were told that they were send monthly reports on castrated, vaccinated dogs to the Directorate of Sanitary and Veterinary, and last year in January, City Hall of Craiova also applied for support from them, but they got no answer. No funds are provided from the state budget for solving this problem. The problem remains. Different actors in charge with this problem have different views on it, but it can be maintained that the Craiova and the whole Romania has no problem linked to stray dogs. And if there is a problem, it should be spoken about instead of covering. It should be tried to be solved instead of avoiding. And if we have a common problem and we try to solve it by joint efforts, then we are a community.
So messed up, I want you